So.
Hold on. Did everybody? I did perpendicular lines. Somebody asked me about that.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Go.
So for parallel lines, it's on number 3. For parallel lines, it says C and G. Can it be D, H, B, F, and A, B, or is it all B, T, H?
Hold on. Oh, question number 3 right here. I was looking at parallel. So, all parallel lines to CG, right? So I would highlight CG, and then all of them that are perpendicular would be parallel.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So those 3.
What does it ask you to do on number 4?
So paraphrasing the parallel postulate. Well, again, I'm not really going to ask you that tomorrow, but the parallel postulate is just referring to the fact that it has to do with kind of what we were saying yesterday about a point, not on a line. There is one line that's parallel to it, right? And the same thing with perpendicular. Through any given point, not on a line, there's exactly one line that goes through it that's perpendicular to that line.
Okay. Why is it none of those 4 lines parallel to that one?
Well, because it's saying through a single given point, right? Like if I choose D, there's only one line parallel to CG through D.
Oh, yeah.
You with me? If I were to say this, here's a line, right, and here's a point. How many parallel lines can be drawn through that point? That's what it's saying. You with me? All right? And the same thing with perpendicular, right? Right? Okay. But again, honestly, I should have, I'm really not going to include that tomorrow. So if you want to get rid of that, that's perfectly fine. All right. Somebody else looking through this want me to just say I'm not real sure? Go ahead.
9.
All right, let's take a look at number 9. So it says, which lines, if any, can be proved? The parallel lines given the diagram. All right, well, I don't really think anything. Do you agree? Because these have to be what in order for them to be parallel? Supplementary. Very good. All right. They have to be supplementary. All right. And they're not supplementary, so you can't really conclude anything. If it was 151 and 29, then you could. Yes. Did you have something?
I thought it had to be corresponding.
Well, if I said this was 151, now you could say C and D are parallel.
Yeah.
Because those are corresponding, but we don't know anything about corresponding angles. Yes, sir.
18.
All right, let's take a look at 18 real quick. I don't mind scrolling up and down. All right. Which best describes the relation between the lines, right? So, in my opinion right here, if you multiply by 4,
Right.
you end up with exactly the same line, right?
Yeah, I see that, but that doesn't tell you whether
So it's B. Because you said if I multiply this by 4, or I could divide this by 4, it would give you the same line. You said you even agree with that.
Yeah, I see that it's. Then you can. I see that you multiply by 4, and that's how they got the
No. Okay. Now here's what you're. Those are supposed to be 2 different equations. You hear me now?
Okay.
Right.
Okay,
So it's the same line. You with me now, right?
Yes.
Yes.
For number 8, they're all true. Because GEF is 118, GEF is 67.
It says which of the following statements is false. So okay, so then none of them. Yeah, but let's double check you just to make sure. ABC is 113, so let's go ahead and mark that 113, right? And then we could just mark all of these 113, right?
Yeah.
And then the other one would be 67. You with me on this? So is GEF. That's 113.
Yeah.
DEF
Yeah.
is 67. HBF. HBF. So this angle right here would be with AED, so that's correct, right? And ABH. What's the matter, Sam? What do you mean? I don't know what that means. The figure above. What did you mean?
Well, I thought it was talking about the figure above.
I know that's good.
Shh. You guys don't even let me communicate. You understand now?
Yeah.
All right. ABH and AEG. Those are corresponding. So all of them are true. You're correct. All of them are true. Go ahead. Let's look at 20. Thank you. All right. So again, the relationship just has to do with the lines being parallel or perpendicular or neither. You with me? So we would try the slope, right? Exactly. So this would be -6 plus 9 over -12 plus 7, right? So that would be 3 over -5. Do you agree? Okay, so then the slope of, that's the slope of line 1, the slope of line 2. 11 minus 8 is 3, -9 plus 4, isn't that -5, right? So we'd have to say that they're what? Then it's neither. It's, sorry, go.
Number 26, which is just fine. Would you set that equal to 5 as
No. No. Now, listen, the easiest way to avoid a mistake is, honestly, I used to do this, and I tell kids all the time, even if you're going to forget, one's obtuse and one's acute. So an obtuse is never equal to an acute. You see what I'm saying? So it has to be, they have to add up to 180. Right? You see what I'm saying? Like, for example, let me give you another example. This right here and this right here. I don't even care what they are. I just look at them and say they're both obtuse. So those two would be what? Equal. Right. If I looked at number 2 and I looked at this guy right there, and so they equal 180. Yes. You understand what I'm saying, right? Right. But those are called consecutive interior angles, and consecutive interior angles are supplementary. That's the rule. You know what I'm saying? But again, I'm not asking you for that. Go ahead.
Put same side.
Yeah, same side interior, consecutive interior. Yeah, you're right. You'll see in different geometry books they're called different things.
Are you gonna post the answers?
I'm really gonna try. I'm really gonna try. All right, for the 3rd time. Okay. Anybody else? You already asked me. Okay, but listen. I honestly, I need to make this test up, and I still haven't yet. No. So I think there's probably going to be 4 or 5 proofs on there, and then probably 10 questions. Right, like this. And again, the focus is going to be on, listen, making sure you understand how to write equations of lines, parallels, those types of things. Because I think on the last little quiz that we had, that was, for me, it felt like that was the weakness. The proofs are usually the weakness, and you guys that wasn't the weakness, right? The weakness was the lines, all right, writing those equations. So I need somebody to tell me, go. Does anybody else have any other questions?
Oh yeah, on 10, can you only fix the parallel?
Angle 2, so let's look at angle 2 and angle 9. So then C and D would be considered parallel because consecutive interior are supplementary. You have to tell me why you think they're parallel is what I'm asking. No.
Oh,
We know C and D are A and B parallel.
Yeah.
Because
But we
we
don't know.
can't, right, we don't know because there isn't a relationship between two angles, right? There either has to be alternate interior, alternate exterior, consecutive interior, those types of things. There's nothing perpendicular. So, again, you just have to scroll through your ways of showing that lines are parallel, and nothing fits for A and B.
Okay, number 25
Okay, let me slide down. Hold on. Hold on. That's okay. What?
is 186.
Somebody help her. I know.
No, let me see.
No, it's not.
Where is it?
You say 180.
Oh, it's just 186.
No. Just do 180 minus 136. Okay.
I did that.
Alright. Add that to 42 and then
I did
subtract that.
that.
Just do 136.
I did that.
Minus 42. Well, then whatever you get should be right, unless you do wrong.
It's 86.
Now,
But it's not. Never mind.
listen. On this too, also, you to me now that we've reviewed the information about triangles, it's even easier. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Right? Because on this particular problem here, 136, this guy right here, you could say is what? 44, right? And then 44 plus 42 is 86. So then this would have to be 94. There's so many different ways of doing it. I'm just saying from yesterday's lesson with triangles, it's now easier.
Hey, Ryan, it's
Yeah.
94.
Well, you can look at the wall.
Sorry.
Here we go. I'm 17. Yes, here we go. All right. So 17. Find the slope-intercept form. Now, if it's parallel, do you remember it's the same slope, right? So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, correct? So y plus 5 equals negative 4 times x minus 3. That's not the final answer, right? That's point slope. So slope-intercept, right? We would say y plus 5 equals negative 4x plus 12. Y equals negative 4x plus 7. All right? Yes, Grace, good.
Number 14 is
14, thank you. 14, here we go. All right, now again, on this, I'm just going to write down the formulas, right? Does everybody agree these are just formulas? If I write the formulas, you'll be in good shape. You hear me, Grace, right? So slope, you should just get in the habit. Y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, midpoint. All right, remember, midpoint is x plus x over 2, comma, y plus y over 2. Now, normally what I tell kids is the midpoint is the average, right? The average of the x and average of the y's. Because I'm lazy, you should put, right, Grace, x1, x2, y1, y2, right? Well, you know, it's just add the x's divided by 2, add the y's divided by 2. You hear me? Then the distance formula, remember, on the distance formula we used to do the Pythagorean theorem, right? I used to show you that. But there's also just a formula, d is equal to what? The square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. You hear me on that? And what's really nice, if you're thinking about it, it's, you understand how the slope right there, do you see what I'm saying? Yes. While you guys were talking, I said that's what we did. All right? We did it by plotting points and made a right triangle. Okay? I just think that's the easiest way. All right? Good now? Don't need to go over that. Did anybody, why don't you tell me, why didn't somebody tell me what the slope was? Did anybody do that yet? 1/3. And then the midpoint was?
Y negative 6.5 negative 2.5.
Good.
Wow, I was 1/3.
Did we do negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1, and negative 8 plus 5 is negative 3.
And you got all those numbers from points, right? I thought you did it for rise above the line.
You can do it. Okay, so are you doing 13, or are you doing these points here that are in the question? I know, that was kind of fun. All right. So again, now look, for the distance, so we did the slope, correct? Right, so you realize you're just taking, the top is the difference of the y's, and the bottom is the difference of the x's. So people are amazed when I can just say it's the square root of what? How did you get that so fast?
Oh,
Plus 1 squared and 3 squared is 10. Ever see that? All right. Difference of y's and difference of x's. Go ahead.
And is it okay if I just put it in decimals?
I don't care about decimals, but I've tried to tell you you're going to write in fractions when you get more advanced. I can try. Here we go. Here we go. I can try. All right. Slope-intercept form, passing to point perpendicular. So if it's perpendicular, all you're going to do is say -1, 2. The slope of the perpendicular would be 6/5. So y minus 2 equals 6. That would make me wrong, right? You told me what the perpendicular was. You said it was the opposite reciprocal. And what's the opposite of negative? Very good.
Oh.
Yeah, I got you. All right. You good with that?
Uh-huh.
Now we're going in slope-intercept, so I just got to convert that to y equals mx plus b, right? So because we're geniuses, we're going to say this is 6/5 x, and then it would be plus 6/5 plus 2. Plus 6/5 plus 2 would be positive what? Is that right? I would want you to say 6/5 plus 10/5. That's what I want you to be able to do. Mental math with fractions, your teacher's gonna think you're the smartest person ever. All right, that's it. Told you, simple. Okay, what? All right, let's take a look at 8 real quick. Thank you very much. 8, 8, 8. We already did 8. Okay, all of them are true. Somebody else.
I still get number 21.
All right, let's look at 21. I'll go even slower. All right, here we go. So what part don't you understand so far?
Where
Let's
you get x plus 1.
from plugging in this point
Plug it in there.
into the equation,
Because it's plus 1, right?
right? Which is y minus y1 equals m times
Yeah.
x minus x1, right?
Okay, I got that. And so then you get y minus 2 equals 6 over 5. Okay. And then you get 6/5 plus x plus 6.
Right? 6/5 plus 2. Good. I'll try. 23. Graph. Okay, so y equals 3 is a horizontal line, right? And so that slope is 0. X equals 5 is a vertical line. Bless you. And that slope is undefined. You agree with that?
Yeah.
And then this slope over here is 3. Go down 4, plot a point, up 3 over 1. You with me? Good enough? Yes, sir. Go.
Move that to
Just tell me the number. 21.
Thank
Here we
you.
go.
I don't get 21.
Oh, okay. 16. Yes.
No, how is that the
Is that right or not?
Yeah, I thought you said 10 fifths.
No, we're adding 2.
I thought
Yeah.
that it was like the negative reciprocal, and then you get 16/5.
Yeah, what? Yeah.
Oh!
What? First of all,
Wait, I see.
I'm asking you right here. Do you understand this part right here?
Yes.
Okay, so you said yourself when you distribute, you get y minus 2 equals 6/5 x plus 6/5. Right?
Yeah.
Now you're adding 2. Now you're asking me to help you with 2 plus 6/5. I don't mind that. 2 is the same as 10/5. You understand that?
Yeah.
10 plus 6.
That's 16.
Well, you were asking me.
No, I get that. But then I thought that perpendicular meant that you like switched it and made it negative.
Okay, so here, I understand. I understand your problem. Look right here. This was the original slope right there.
I don't know. I don't see any of it. The problem.
All right, go. I'll try 12. If I haven't done it already 3 times.
Well, I just don't.
All right, here we go. Okay, so this is actually a good problem.
I get
Listen,
all the angles and stuff. I just don't get how to do it.
because their corresponding angles are congruent.
That's it. But like this line.
This right here, watch. This is a good problem, actually. Very good. This angle right here is equal to this angle right here. A and C.
A and C. All right.
Yeah.
Because of,
All right, that's the only thing that I can say is parallel. B and D are not because 172 and 174. What's the matter? Graydon, what? Shh, Graydon. What? I'm not sure what you're asking me. You're telling me that's 34 and 32, and I'm not sure what I'm trying to help you. I'm not sure. Why are they parallel? I said B and D are not parallel. Shh, I'm asking Graydon. Do you understand why I said that A and C are parallel? Then what was your question?
I didn't understand it.
Now you got it. Okay. Right? You see what I'm saying? It would be nice if that 74 was 72, right? Then we could say that D and B are parallel. You hear me?
Yeah.
But it's not. All right? 34 plus 72 is a good little trick question. Go. Do you understand corresponding angles have to be congruent in order for the lines to be parallel?
Yeah.
Do you understand that 32 plus 74 is the same as 34 plus 72? So those are corresponding angles now. Okay, so in order for B and D to be parallel, you would have to be looking at 72 being equal to 74. Is 72 equal to 74? Therefore, those are not parallel. So what they did is this. Look, I'm going to try to show you something. Look real quick. Look up. Look up. Because I do think it's a visual thing. And I do try to tell kids that sometime the problem is, right, that it's very difficult to see. All right? So right now, that angle right there was 106 degrees, correct? But what happened was they came and they did this. They put another to mess you up. They did this, right? And they're moving this angle. That angle from here to here is still 106 degrees. You agree? Now I put this right here at 72 degrees to confuse you, to throw you off, right? So this that I'm drawing has absolutely nothing to do with that angle. This is 106 degrees. Now, just in the interest of time, I don't feel like wiping out the other angle. I feel like you should know that that's 106. Therefore, those two angles are congruent. But I'm trying to show you on most geometry standardized tests, they are deceptive. They draw things to confuse you. Your objective is to try to eliminate the confusion. All right, quick.
Can you just go over
22 really quick. Shh. Find K. Okay, so basically you're just finding the slope.
Yeah.
All right, so K minus 4 over 5 is equal to 3/4. That's what you're asking.
Yeah.
So cross multiply. 4 times K minus 4 equals 15. Right? Cross multiplying.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Can we solve it from there?
Um,
K minus 4 equals 15/4. So K is equal to 31/4. That's how I wish you'd be able to do that.
whenever I get that on a test, though, I like spend like 15 minutes on that because that's such a weird answer.
I know.
31/4, like,
Yeah.
I know that.
Wait till you get to when they start giving you E's as an answer. Stuff like that.
Oh.
Go.
That's what they're
Can you do number 10?
I'll try. Go. Come on. What?
Why is it over 5?
Because I did the slope, kiddo. Look. The slope. 2 minus -3, right? Because I just wrote it down because I didn't have enough room.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, somebody asked me a question now. Which
Number
one?
10.
Number what?
10.
10. All right. So, we did this one. 2 and 9 are supplementary, right?
So what is
So what two lines are parallel?
C and D.
That's it. All right, we can't say anything about anything else because, as I was telling Hayden, right, there's no relationship between one of these angles over here and one of these angles over here. You understand that? All right, go. That's all right. It's come on.
Okay,
I'm
I
used
just
to
wanted
it.
ask
Trust
you-
me.
So when we were on number 12, I totally get that. You say
Right,
that
right.
B and D aren't parallel because 74 and 72 are not equal.
Exactly.
But why is it that C can, like, its angle is
Okay, so let me
32
just go
plus
ahead.
34?
Stop talking now. All right.
My question is.
Yeah. So I'm just going to erase this before you ask me your question, so I can demonstrate something. Shh. I promise I'm always right. All right. Go ahead. Now I'm sorry. What was your question?
Okay. Why is it that D can't use 74 plus the angle above it, and then they be congruent?
That's what we did.
So B and D weren't parallel. Why is it that C and A use 34 and 72 and 32 and 74 and D
Okay, because
only
here's
uses
honestly, what I was trying to show you was this. Do you agree that I think it was 106, right, guys?
Yes.
So those two angles add together are 106.
Yeah.
So it's clear to me now that A and C are parallel. Do you agree? Okay. Now the confusion comes when they take this line right here and they divide up 106, right? So when they divide it up, I don't know, I think this one was 74, but it doesn't matter. And this one over here was 72. And I get it, that doesn't matter. The point is, these two lines, the purple lines now are not parallel because those angles that were created are not the same. You with me? But that has nothing to do with A and C. Has nothing to do with A and C. Because A and C, the corresponding angles are still equal. Those still are 106. Therefore, A and C are parallel. It's deceptive because that purple line that's drawn makes it look like it shouldn't be true. You see what I'm saying now? So we can't say that this line and this line are parallel. As a matter of fact, we can say they're definitely not parallel because these are not equal.
Okay. Is any line made parallel because the top one is 74?
Well, it would be if I change.
Just reaffirm that C and A are parallel.
Yeah, exactly. Go.
Can you just go down before we
Yeah. Midpoint is the average of the x's and the average of the y's. Right? X plus x divided by 2, comma y plus y divided by 2. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Somebody else. All right. Go. Good, Grace.
15 and 16.
All right. Let's look at 15 real quick. What is the slope of the line? You should be able to look at that and just say m equals -5/3. Right? And a line parallel would just be what? It has to have a slope of 2/3, right? So which one of those? B. Right? Now, honestly, come on, guys. I got time. 19. What is the slope of the line? Perpendicular. That's okay. So the slope of this line is equal to -1/2. Do you agree? And again, I want you to be able to do that mentally. So the slope, and here's how you write it. Slope of the perpendicular is 2. Anybody else? Come on. Go ahead, Chancellor. Good for you. Number 9. Thank you. Number 9. I know this, I'm not, I think this is the 3rd time we've done that, but that's okay. Seriously. All right, I know. Can any of them be determined to be parallel? No, because 151 and 28 are not supplementary, right? So there's nothing, absolutely nothing. Nothing can be told about that. Those lines. Go. 17. Here we go. On 17. Find the slope-intercept formula line passing through parallel. Okay, so again, I think this one is definitely on the test. Well, anything dealing with lines, you should make sure you know, because if it's parallel, the slope will be what? Right? So the slope will be. So we know the slope of the parallel line is equal to -4. So we would say y plus 5 equals -4 times x minus 3. Wow, we've already done this problem. That's what I just don't understand. Is that better? All right. Anytime you want to write the equation of line, you need a slope and a point. It should, and when you get up to advanced math, it'll just be point-slope format. All right, because in order to write the equation, you need a point and slope. Are with me? But we just have to know standard. Well, I'm not really testing you on standard because it's just slope, point slope, and slope. All right. Now, I think that's about every question, correct? Anybody? Let's go back to 24 since I haven't done that answer. Is it frozen? Oh, that's perfect timing anyway. All right, guys. I promise tomorrow will be pretty easy. And